Welcome to KartTV. I'm Nils Schneider, and today I'm going to show you one of the basics of baking, and that's the chocolate chip cookie. Alright, so today, first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to preheat our oven to 375 degrees. What we're going to do is we're going to grab our butter. We're going to grab our stand mixer here, and what I'm using today is a paddle attachment. The paddle attachment kind of looks like this. Okay, and I'm going to put my butter in. We're just going to prop this up, and we're going to put it on a very low speed. And as we're mixing, we're just going to slowly increase. Once we've whipped our butter, we're just going to lower it again, and then we're going to add our sugars. We're just going to start our mixer again, as to not shoot sugar everywhere, and then we're going to bring that up very, very slowly in increments until we're really well combined. Then once the sugars are combined, we're just going to bring it all the way up to full, and really allow that to emulsify and whip. Now in increments, we're going to stop the machine and we're going to scrape the sides of the bowl to make sure that all the butter is well incorporated and that we're actually creaming all of it together. So we're going to scrape the bowl. You can prop it all the way down if you wish. Makes things easier. We're just going to go all the way around. All right, so now that we've scraped it down, we're going to bring it back up and we're going to bring it back up to speed. And we're just going to make sure that we get really well incorporated on that last rotation. All right, so now that your butter's been creamed with the sugars, we're just going to lower the bowl again, and we're going to do our final scrape down here. Again, this is with brown sugar, but you can really tell even so that the hue of the butter has really lightened up. We're going to scrape the paddle down. And then now that we've scraped the paddle, we're just going to scrape the sides of the bowl. Even the bottom, just making sure that we really get everything off the sides and we're making sure that the beginnings of our dough is really well incorporated. We're gonna go and add our vanilla extract and our 2 whole eggs. Now again, if you're not comfortable splitting this right over the bowl, just do it in another container, and that way you can really see if any eggshells or any contaminants got into your eggs. And then we're gonna bring this back up. We're going to do another rotation at about a medium-high speed. We almost want to slightly whip the eggs at this point, so just let that mix go for quite a bit. So now that your eggs and your vanilla have been well incorporated, and now you can really see, so this is why I scraped the bowl down. You can see at the bottom there's still some butter that's not incorporated. So we're really just going to make sure that it gets folded in. What I like to do is I actually like to add in my baking powder and my baking soda firstly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop that in. And I'm gonna put it back on high. And I'm gonna let that run for about 2 minutes. We're gonna just very slowly add our flour, okay? In very, very small increments. I would say probably about 1/4 of the flour mixture at a time. All right, so now that we've incorporated all of our flour, we're just gonna bring it up to speed just gently. Just to make sure that we're well incorporated. And then we're gonna do my favorite thing. We're gonna scrape the bowl down once again, really making sure that all that flour gets incorporated properly. All right, so now that you've scraped the bowl down for, I promise, the last time, we're just gonna bring this back onto the mixer here, and we're gonna keep it at a very low rotation. Now, the reason why we want low on this one is because we're gonna add our chocolate chips and our sea salt, and we really don't wanna be crushing that chocolate too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my sea salt in. And then we're gonna continue on this low speed, and just ever so slowly, we're gonna add our chocolate mix in here. So you can use kind of any chocolate to your preference. If you want to go white chocolate, that's totally up to you. If you want to go milk chocolate, that's no problem. All right, so now that your salt and your chocolate's been incorporated, we're just going to kill the switch here, and we're going to drop it down. Your batter should look something like this. You're going to grab your nonstick spray here, and we're just going to do a nice even coat on your baking sheet, and we're just going to line that with some parchment. Now, what I like to do is I like to grab a small cup of water, and what that does is it just really helps with the stickiness of the dough. Today, I'm just going to use one of these scoops. This is an ice cream scoop. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to do nice, even balls. Now, when you're lining your cookie trays, you really want to account for spacing. You know, this batter itself, it really does spread out a little bit. So just make sure that you're giving every cookie enough room to kind of grow out. And this is where the water comes in. I like to just dip 2 fingers in and just very gently press on the top, just until they're just slightly flat. And that will really help the cookie kind of just spread evenly as it's baking. We're gonna put them in the oven that's been preset to 375, and we're gonna bake them for probably about 8 to 10 minutes. All right, so the key to these cookies is the fact that I actually just barely got them golden around the sides, just to like a light brown hue, and that will really allow them to be a nice and soft cookie. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna transfer them over to a cooling rack. Now, it's really important that you don't miss this step. If you leave them on the tray, it's not the end of the world, but you're gonna get a soggy bottom, and it's not exactly ideal. And look at those. Thanks for tuning into KartTV. My name is Nils Schneider, and this is how I like to do a basic chocolate chip cookie.